Shalom. I want to start by saying all praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim, Hakwadash, the honors the apostles, bishops, and elders, millstone, and salutation, stopping and pushing this word, to say honesty, the whole full elect, constantly enduring. Shalom. My name is Korah Allah. Lord wants to edify and lesson. Real quick, just going into the times we're in, the times that we've spoken of, starting with our apostles, our bishops, our elders on down, okay, of GMS, of course, prophesied and believing in the words of Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, during the time of great tribulations, time of troubles, and it's not just, but it's what we've been speaking of through the Spirit. So here are a few scriptures I want to go into, low and edifying, okay. This is 2 Ezra 16 and 17. It says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? Right? So that's 2 Ezra. Now this is Ezra speaking, and he's saying, woe is me, who shall deliver me in those days? It says, let's start at 16. 2 Ezra 16 and 16, it says, like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer, returneth not backward, even so, where that mighty archer is going into Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, okay? Because the words that the Lord speak do not return void, okay? It says, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again. So the plagues are being set, okay? The plagues are being set, and we're seeing it right now. We're seeing famines, even man-made famines. We're seeing uproars of the people. We're seeing earthquakes and other natural devastations, okay? We're seeing the so-called white man, which is the devil, Esau, okay, whose real name is Esau. We've seen him show his horns, showing himself to be the wicked he is, right? It says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famines and great deaths. So we're in the beginning phases of what? Jacob's trouble, the beginning phases of the end times. Okay, which we're in the end times, but now we're coming to a close. All right, things are coming to a head. It says the beginning of famine and great deaths, the beginning of wars, and powers shall stand in fear. And the powers shall stand in fear. They're at the beginning of great death, the beginning of wars. Okay, now we're seeing America is entering into Venezuela, right? For the they want the minerals, they want the oil. Okay, they disguise it as a they're declaring war on the drugs, but really what it is they need that oil, they need the minerals from Venezuela. All right, but here it is, Venezuela is backed by who? Russia. Okay, so no matter which way America turns, he has to face Russia. Okay, so that's all the Spirit. Okay, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famines and great deaths, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. And the powers, who are the powers going into the elites, the national bankers, because they're not gonna get to enjoy their enterprise. Okay, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Right. So Ezra is saying, what shall I do when these evils shall come? Proving what? That Ezra is back here again today through reincarnation. Okay. So the men at that time, or the people of that time, had 100% grasp on reincarnation. Okay, it says, behold, famines and plagues, tribulations, anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. Right. So people are being punished. This is a punishment set up upon this place, because why? This place is filthy. This place is wicked. All right, the wicked is in rulership. Okay, for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Right. Now, something might happen, and then it might die down. Like you had the 19th and the 20th, where were some dark moments in this place, right? Prophetic moments, all right, and people kind of, turn to the Lord turn to the scriptures, right? But then after a while, things go back to normal, and they go back to being wicked. Even people run to the churches. You have people run into the camps. Okay, so it's like a revolving door with these people, especially with 2/3 of our people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. That's whose lessons really for. Okay, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who are truly the Israelites. All right. It says, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap. This is the point. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. Right? And victuals were so good cheap. Okay? Anything you needed. Such as what? Food. All right? Canned food. The government even give you support, government help, right? The WIC, the EBT, the food stamps. Okay. It says themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusions. So here it is. The evil is grown upon earth, man. So you people have been thought yourself to be in a good case, that to the point where you didn't want to fear Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. You just want to do pure wickedness. But here it is now, the evils are growing upon earth. You're starting to lose all those certain government benefits. People are losing their jobs. Unemployment rate is rising. The dollar is collapsing, and people are living in uncertainty. Okay, but this is the evils. Okay, the sword, the famines, and great confusion. This is the confusion. We've seen the sword, right? Because now they're talking about running in your house and taking your goods, your canned goods, the things you have for your family. They talking about going into stores and stealing from stores, and this is all supposed to happen November 1st, tomorrow. Okay, so it's basically going to be a purge on these streets, and then you're going to have the government getting involved with the cops and the troops. So it's gonna be total chaos. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Okay, so that's the times we're coming into. Okay, a time of confusion, uncertainty, a time of death. All right, famines. This is a man-made famine, right? Because now they cut off all these different benefits that the people counted on, the people depended on. All right, so especially you women. Okay, so there goes that independent. I'm independent. This, independent, that. Really, you depend on the government. Okay, really, the economy is so bad you can't do things on your own. All right, but the elect, they have who? Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to guide them through these times. Yeah, this is not going to be a long, drawn-out lesson. I am at work. I'm about to go in there and, go into that plantation. So this is Jeremiah 30:6. It says, ask ye now and see whether a man doeth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Okay, and why is my man's hands gonna be on his loins like a woman in travail? Because he ain't gonna know. He's gonna be in a state of confusion. Okay, because what? Money is a defense, right? But the dollar's gonna collapse. A lot of these men, they're stable because they have money, right? They have a business. They might have whatever it is that they feel safety in. They find safety in. They might have safety in their weapons. They might have safety in their family, in numbers. Okay, but you're not gonna be able to fight what's coming. Okay, what's coming is not gonna be something you can shoot at. Okay, the government don't have to bring in the military to crumble a city or a town. Right? They could do it. They could just starve you out. They could cut off the water, literally. Okay, they cut your water off literally. Okay, so the men, they aren't going to be able to deal with it because the Lord is not with them in these times. Okay, when the Lord said He make a man more precious than gold, He was talking about the Israelite man, not any Israelite man. He's talking about the elect, the ones out there on the highways and byways, shining and crying to be part of that number. Okay, it says, "Therefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, and as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness." Get that proud look is gonna be gone. Okay, you're gonna be in a look of confusion, look at this despair. Okay, Jeremiah 30:7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay, so now we're approaching the time of Jacob's trouble, which it's already begun. Okay, it's already begun. It's total chaos out there. You see the government sending in the military, right? That Trump sending his military, his madmen sparing none, as the scriptures say. All right, now we're seeing the food at an all-time high. The food's not even it's not even the same quality anymore. Okay, so we are already in a time of disparity. For the 2/3. Okay, and the rest of the world, because Jacob's trouble is going to affect the whole world too. Okay, but he shall be saved out of it. All right, he shall be saved out of it. It's going into the elect. All right, the ones sighing and crying. Okay, so the average Joe, the average man, the average so-called Negro, Latino, Native American man, he might know something. He might, I'm store up some food. I'm gonna store up some food. I'm gonna gather some weapons. I'm gonna learn how to fish. I'm gonna learn how to hunt. But here it is, the Lord could just send destruction towards that man. Okay, now if a tornado comes by and destroys everything that you had in your possessions, or an earthquake occurs, okay, or people just come in your house and destroy you and your family and take your stuff, okay, but those types of judgments is not gonna fall upon a man of the Lord. Okay, Lord willing, I'm one of those men. But I'm ended here. I'm gonna say all praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, Bashir Hakwadash. Double honesty, apostle, bishops, elders, great millstone, and say, Tish, I can push this word, sincerely, honesty. Shalom.